Hey everyone, today I have an interesting art book to show you. This is The Faith, the Dream Life Journal by Casey Lee, an artist, painter from Malaysia. And this book is interesting because it only has one page and it's 17.5 meters long. And this published book is actually just the condensed version of his original sketchbook, which is 88 meters long. I actually saw a portion of his original sketchbook a few years ago during the Asia Link Sketch Walk, which happened in Kuching, Malaysia. So this is the slipcase. And the original sketchbook is as big as this, which is huge, but of course he did not bring the whole 88 meter sketchbook out. He was just working on a few pieces of paper, which I'm sure he is going to stitch or paste or stick together later on, which is what you will see here in this book. So this is a very heartfelt, personal sketchbook because it talks about his life. When I read his story, this is all written in Chinese, but there is English text as well. When I read his story, I was really moved. This journal was created by him when he was 60 years old. It talks about him trying to find his biological family after 54 years because he was actually given up for adoption when he was born. This journal was created by him when he was 60 years old, and it talks about him trying to reunite with his biological family after 54 years old because he was given up for adoption when he was just a baby. And these are some portraits of his biological family, his father, the mother. His father unfortunately gambles a lot, so they had money issues and the family had to give him up for adoption. And interestingly, many years later, he actually found his father working in the same restaurant as him, but he didn't realize that he was working alongside with his father. Until his father talked about his gambling habits. So that's how they reunited by chance. That is quite an incredible story. And you can see all the years listed on the pages. So these are just snapshots of a different time of his life. The different schools that he went to, cinemas, the different places that he went to, the village that he went to, cinema, post office. He went to art school, and wow, the story about his art journey is also, let's just say that he did not lead an easy life because he was a very poor student and he had to rent this place to stay, and he did not have money to pay the rent, and the landlord threw his stuff out of the room. These are stories about his marriage, how he met his wife. There are also stories about different cars he bought because the cars, they actually do tell a story because all these places that he went to, he drove there with the car. So there is a lot of story with the cars as well. And all these sketches, they were actually drawn, if I'm not wrong, with pencil or ink. This was drawn with ink, definitely. But the ink is not like black ink, it's brown or sepia ink. So you can see the colors and the line art, they play along very nicely. By the way, so far I have flipped through the so-called pages. These are actually pages stitched together. You can see this is actually just one long page all stitched together, and the pages, they flow along really, the story, the pages, they flow along really nicely. At certain areas, the pages will, let me see if I can find any page. Okay, so I'm actually trying to find a page where it seems like the stories are like stopped right in the middle, but it seems that Casey Lee, he has managed to make all the sketches, the story flow as one continuous unit, which is quite incredible. He met a lot of people in his life. Friends, colleagues, workers, his biological family, his adopted family. So there are a lot of people who influence him, and you get to read about all that in this book. Some artwork, some sketches of food, very classic, very common food that you can find in Malaysia. He also went into business. He set up a company called Cable Rod, which sells metal cables. And I didn't actually know about that until I read the book. So he is an entrepreneur as well, not just into art, but he also set up a graphic design firm and went on to start a metal cable company. Pretty amazing. The paper is matte surface, and the color reproduction on this matte surface paper is fantastic. The colors, they look really vibrant, and they look as if they are original, right? So that is pretty fantastic. And I really like his looseness. That's his style, his looseness. Oh, okay. So this is the back. This is the last page. Yep, so that's him. This is a huge book. The original sketchbook actually went into the Malaysia Book of Records because that's the longest sketch journal by an individual, at least in Malaysia. So this is just a small portion, maybe just 20% of his original sketchbook. And if you can actually look at all the pages at a glance, I'm not able to do so because 17.5 meters is more than what my camera can capture. It's impressive, all right? Even just by looking at a 2-page spread like this, it is already very impressive because you can sort of sense the amount of work that goes into putting a book like this together. Even rearranging the art, creating the art, rearranging the art, and designing the layout. It is a lot of work. And this journal took him several years to complete. I was really moved by all the stories that I read. So this is one of the most heartfelt sketchbooks that I have in my collection. This is extremely, extremely inspiring. Right, so this is definitely a book I can recommend very easily to anyone who is into sketches. This book is priced at 120 Malaysia ringgit, which is around 30 US dollars, 22 sterling pounds or 25 euros. And at that price, it's really worth the money. But this book is going to ship from Malaysia, and this is a huge book, it's thick, it's not that light, so shipping charges to certain countries is going to cost more than the book itself. Anyway, if you are interested to get this book, you can check out the list of shipping charges to various countries that I have for you in the video description below. If you can get this book, I am very sure you are going to enjoy it a lot. Alright, thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video. Bye.